And welcome to today's video. This is a B2 level writing lesson. Today we're going to learn how to write a how-to article. So a maxim is a short statement that tells a general truth. And here are some examples. Laughter is the best medicine. All that glitters is not gold. There are too many cooks in the kitchen. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And the best things in life are free. So grandmas give great advice, and Mary is talking to her grandmother. Match grandma's maxims to Mary's problems. So go ahead and pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check the answers. Okay, I really want a new job now. That goes with number 5. Good things come to those who wait. I really want a vacation, but I don't want to spend the money. That's number 3. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I waited 2 weeks for that package to arrive. That goes with number 4. Better late than never. I met a new colleague yesterday and he looks very grumpy. That's never judge a book by its cover. And it's so hard to learn a new language. That's no pain, no gain. So what are the most challenging issues of modern life? Rank them from 1 to 7, with 7 as the most challenging issue. It's impossible to get enough exercise. It's hard to eat well. I have too many things to do each day. There are a lot of interruptions. It's difficult to stay motivated. You can never finish anything. And I think about doing tasks, but I never start them. And if you want to go ahead and rank those in the comments to generate some conversation, that would be great. And if you can think of any other issues that are big problems today. But if you procrastinate, you don't start a task because it is boring or unpleasant. Tony is a procrastinator. He never starts or finishes anything. I procrastinate all the time, especially when it comes to homework. I always leave it until the last minute. And he never deals with personal problems, he just procrastinates. So do you procrastinate? Do you put things off? And again, you can respond in the comments. Now, some tasks and jobs are complex and complicated. It can be hard to get started or stay motivated for a long time. So read and discuss the quotes. What do you think of them? And are they good ways to stay motivated? And you can put your answers in the comments. Don't lose your motivation if things don't go according to plan. You should write a to-do list at the beginning of each day and break a complicated task into smaller pieces. It's easy to finish 100 small tasks than one large one. Now we're going to read the first part of the text and answer some questions. You can pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. Have you ever heard the saying, don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today? It certainly sounds like a great idea, but the reality is that most people struggle with motivation, at least some of the time. To start with, I am all in favor of the tried and true recommendation of setting yourself a clear, realistic goal. I attended a seminar once where the speaker also suggested visualizing the end result. That seems to work better for professional athletes than it does for me. But as life coach Tony Robbins once said, it's hard to hit a target if you don't know what it is. So why does the article start with a question? Often we start with a question just to introduce the topic or to get the reader's interest stimulated. This is an opinion piece, which language shows the author's opinions. Where he says, it certainly sounds like, I am all in favor of, seems to work better for professional athletes than it does for me. And what does tried and true mean? It just means the normal or regular way of doing things, the way that is most common, the most common way to do things. The author uses the linking words to start with. Means that he or she is going to introduce the first example. And in paragraph 2, where is the direct speech? Well, it's in quotation marks. It's hard to hit a target if you don't know what it is. And who is Tony Robbins, and why does the author include a direct quote from him? He's a very famous life coach, and he quotes him because it kind of helps to uh, support the idea of visualization. Now, we often use a mixture of direct and reported speech in an article. Use reporting verbs to change the statements to reported speech. Verbs like say, tell, state, recommend, admit, etc. You can use other reporting verbs too. And here's an example. You need to know the goal. She stated that people need to know their goal. She recommends that you know your goal. So go ahead and change each of these into reported speech. And you can pause the video, try that on your own, and then restart when you're ready to continue. If you'd like some feedback, you can put your answers in the comments. So in the article, the author quotes Tony Robbins and look at the other ways of introducing ideas. Some people like to write to-do lists. Many people know it's hard to stay motivated all the time. Everyone knows there's no magical solution. A lot of successful people say it's important to set a goal. So now you can try introducing these ideas, use the words in bold, or think of other words. And again, you can put your answers in the comments if you'd like some feedback. The author uses to start with to guide the reader. It's important to organize ideas in a way that helps the reader. The following sentences will appear in the remainder of the article. In which order will they appear? So again, you can try these on your own and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So probably this one is first. Once you've established your objective in a suitable time frame, the next step is to break the task down into manageable chunks. Actually, this one would be first. Secondly, in my experience, it's important to set a different deadline. Once you establish your objective in a suitable time frame, the next step is to break the task down into manageable chunks. My final piece of advice is to remain flexible, and to conclude, there are no magical solutions to maintaining your motivation. And do these sentences introduce ideas or provide examples of ideas? They seem to introduce ideas. So it says to skim the article and look for the linking words. And we'll look more closely at the text in the next slides. So don't read it completely, just skim it to look for the linking words. So the linking words are secondly, in the next step, my final piece of advice, and to conclude. Now answer these questions about the text. Again, you can pause the video, read it on your own, or you can follow along as I read. Secondly, in my experience, it's important to set a definite deadline. Some people advise using the term finish line instead of deadline, but the terminology doesn't really matter. You need to have an end date in mind so that you keep moving forward, moving towards your goal. Once you have established your objective in a suitable time frame, the next step is to break the tasks down into manageable chunks. This helps you to see your progress and gives you a sense of accomplishment. There is a reason why many successful people recommend writing a to-do list at the beginning of every day. So what doesn't matter? This is the terminology. What does it mean to have something in mind? It just means to have an idea about something, or perhaps a plan. What words mean to take a big task and turn it into a sequence of little tasks? It means to break the task down into manageable chunks. And what is a time frame? It just means the amount of time that you think you will need to complete the task. So what are the main ideas in the two paragraphs? What does the author suggest the reader should do? And does the author provide a reason for the suggestions? So the two main ideas are setting a deadline, that's in the first paragraph, and making the tasks manageable. What does the author suggest the reader do? Set a definite deadline, have an end date in mind, and break the tasks down. And does the author provide a reason for the suggestions? The suggestions are all related to maintaining motivation by seeing progress to keep you moving. Here's the last part of the article. You can pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read, and then you can answer the questions. I have a couple of vocabulary words. The key is the important thing, and to maintain is to keep. My final piece of advice is to remain flexible. Consider deadlines as guidelines rather than rules. One of the most important lessons I have learned is don't lose your motivation if things don't go according to plan. This is truer than ever before in a world which is constantly changing. To conclude, there are no magical solutions to maintaining your motivation. The key is to experiment with different ideas and find out which ones work best for you. What does this sentence mean? Consider deadlines as guidelines rather than rules. So does it mean a rule is more important than a deadline? Don't worry too much about a deadline. People confuse the words deadline, guideline, and rule, and stay flexible because you won't always meet a deadline. Well, D is the best answer. Stay flexible because you won't always meet a deadline. So look at the organization of the article carefully. And here kind of summarizes how this is organized. Use a question to get the attention of the reader. Guide the reader with linking words. Reported speech can help your article, make your article stronger. So here, the reported speech, the speaker also suggested visualizing the end result. A direct quote can be useful to show authority on a subject. So quoting Tony Robbins. After introducing your idea, provide more detail and offer a solution. And then provide a short summary of your idea. So now it's time for you to write your own article using these guidelines. And these are the steps. And you can use this article as a model for your own writing. So now you can choose one of these topics to write about, or think of one of your own. So how to relax, how to work better, how to spend more time with friends, how to improve your health, or how to learn vocabulary easily. Some other things to think about. What is your title? What is your question to interest the reader? Do you know someone who has talked about the subject? Can you think of words that someone or some people have said about this subject? And what 3 points or pieces of advice do you have to make on the subject? And before moving to the next slide, write the first sentence of each paragraph. And now you can put it all together. Write your first draft, which if you would like some feedback, you can share in the comments. Remember to use a question to get the attention of the reader. Guide the reading with linking words, like to start with second, third, next, finally. The next step is, my final piece of advice is, to conclude. These are just some examples. There are lots of other linking words that you can use. Remember that reported speech can help your article seem stronger, and a direct quote can be useful to show authority on a subject. And after introducing your idea, provide more detail and offer a solution, and then provide a short summary of your idea. And again, if you'd like some feedback, be sure to put your first draft in the comments. Remember also to like, subscribe, share the video, follow us on the channel, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.